Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin tonight by saying something that I believe is one of the great truths of our time. We are living in an age overflowing with tools, overflowing with convenience, overflowing with power. And yet, with all that power at our fingertips, most people are still struggling with the same old problems: discipline, consistency, direction, purpose. Isn't that something? We now have machines that can think faster than we can, organize better than we can, speak more eloquently than we can, and yet many of us are still trying to figure out how to get out of bed with intention. Now, I'm not here to criticize. I'm here to point out a principle. Tools don't change your life, your philosophy does. You can have the finest hammer in the world and still never build a house. You can have a library full of books and still never grow. And today, you can have access to the most extraordinary technology in human history. These artificial intelligence systems that can write, create, calculate, and design, but without discipline, without consistency, without a guiding philosophy. All that technology becomes nothing more than a very sophisticated toy. I've discovered something remarkable. People aren't overwhelmed because they have too little help. They're overwhelmed because they have so much help that they've stopped helping themselves. And that's why I want to start here. Because some people believe AI will solve their problems. But let me tell you something important. AI will not solve your problems. AI will only reveal them. The disciplined person becomes more disciplined with better tools. The disorganized person becomes more disorganized with better tools. The consistent person becomes unstoppable. The inconsistent person becomes exhausted. Technology amplifies who you already are, not who you wish you were. And tonight, what I want to share with you is not how to let AI run your life, but how to let AI support your life, how to make it a partner in your consistency, your growth, your development. Because if you learn to combine modern tools with timeless disciplines, something extraordinary happens. Your potential compounds. And when your potential compounds, your future expands. So let us begin our journey here with a simple question I want you to ponder throughout this entire lesson. In a world full of tools, are you building anything? Because the tools are ready. The question now is, are you? Let me give you a foundation to stand on tonight. Because before we talk about tools, technology, or systems, we must talk about philosophy. Philosophy is simply the set of ideas that guide your life. And one of the ideas that guided mine more than almost anything else was this: don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Now let me tell you why this matters even more in the age of artificial intelligence. Because when things get easier, most people think that the need to improve disappears. They believe that if the world becomes simpler, their lives will automatically get better. But that's not how it works. When things get easier, you must become stronger. When things get faster, you must become wiser. When the world hands you tools of incredible power, you must rise to be the kind of person who uses them responsibly. See, most people look at AI and think, if only the machine could do the work for me, then I wouldn't have to change. But that's the wrong wish. The wish shouldn't be that life gets easier. The wish should be that you grow into someone capable of handling the opportunities that come with ease. Because let me promise you something. If success were purely a matter of convenience, if greatness came down to having the right software, we would all be extraordinary by now. Everyone has access to the same tools. What they don't have is the same philosophy. They don't have the same discipline. They don't have the same commitment to becoming better. Don't miss this. AI is not a replacement for your personal development. It is a magnifier of it. If you study more, AI will help you study faster. If you plan better, AI will help you plan clearer. If you make better decisions, AI will help you make them sooner. But if you're inconsistent, distracted, unfocused, AI will simply help you become more inconsistent, more distracted, more unfocused, only now you'll get there faster. That's why I say, before AI can make your life easier, you must decide to make yourself better. That's the foundation, that's the starting point, not the tools, not the apps, not the systems, the person. Because everything we talk about from this point forward will fall apart if you're wishing for easy instead of working on better. And if you grasp that one principle, if you walk away tonight saying, My goal is not to let AI replace my effort, but to let it multiply my growth. You'll already be far ahead of the masses, because most people are trying to outsource their discipline. But discipline cannot be outsourced. Not to AI, not to a machine, not to an app. Discipline is a personal decision repeated every day. AI can support it, but it cannot supply it. And once you accept that truth, once you stop wishing for easier and start wishing for better, then you're ready for the next step. Learning how to use this new technology the way a disciplined person would, purposefully, wisely, and consistently. Now that we've laid the foundation that it's not about wishing for easier, but wishing for better, let me tell you about 3 categories of AI tools that I believe a disciplined person would use every single day. And let me also tell you, right from the start, why most people never will. Not because these tools are hard to understand, but because the habits required to benefit from them are too easy to ignore. The first category is what I call AI for learning. This is remarkable. We now have tools that can take a book that took an author 10 years of life experience and distill it into 10 minutes of clarity. You can ask questions, explore ideas, build reading plans, and uncover insights that used to take months of study. But here's the challenge. Most people won't ask better questions because they haven't yet developed a better curiosity. They won't build a reading plan because they're still waiting for someone else to motivate them. Remember, the tool is ready, but the learner must be willing. AI can accelerate your education, but it cannot replace your enthusiasm for learning. The second category is AI for planning and systems. If you've ever struggled with organization, focus, or structure, these tools are a gift. You can outline your goals, create routines, design weekly schedules, even craft long-term visions. But again, here's why the masses won't benefit. AI can build you the perfect plan, but it cannot make you follow it. It can tell you exactly which habits will change your life, but it cannot drag you out of bed to practice them. A plan is only as powerful as the person who honors it. Some people will spend hours designing a great-looking schedule with AI and never follow it for one single day. That's the tragedy of this era. People will let technology do the thinking, but still refuse to do the doing. And the third category, this one is exciting, is AI for creativity and output. These tools can help you write, design, create content, generate business ideas, build marketing plans, draft proposals, even produce videos and graphics. It's the greatest creative accelerator we've ever seen. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. AI will never replace your philosophy, your taste, your judgment, your values, or your work ethic. A machine can create content, but it cannot give it meaning. It can generate ideas, but it cannot give them soul. You are the ingredient that makes the tool useful. Without you, it's just electricity and algorithms. So there you have it, 3 kinds of tools that can make you smarter, more organized, and more productive. But here's the final point of this section, and it may be the most important. AI will help the disciplined person win faster and help the undisciplined person fail sooner. Why? Because the disciplined person uses these tools to multiply their consistency, while the undisciplined person uses them to multiply their distractions. The tools are available to everyone, but the ability to benefit from them belongs only to those who bring character, curiosity, and commitment to the table. And that's why, before we go deeper, we need to build something essential, a daily routine that uses AI not to replace your responsibility, but to reinforce it. Now let me share something with you that can change the direction of your entire year and perhaps your entire life if you choose to practice it. I call this the Rohn routine, a small, simple discipline you can apply every morning using AI, not to replace your effort, but to focus it. See, most people begin the day already behind. They wake up reacting, responding, rushing, surviving. But successful people begin the day with intention. They begin with thought, with reflection, with a plan. And the beauty of this new era is that AI can help you do what successful people have always done, but faster, clearer, and more consistently. It only takes 15 minutes, but those 15 minutes can start a compounding effect that will astonish you if you practice it daily. Here's how it works. The first step, just 3 minutes, is what I call AI reflection. Ask your AI assistant a very honest question. Based on yesterday, what did I do that moved me forward and what slowed me down? Now, here's the key. The value is not in the machine's answer. The value is in your willingness to face it. Most people won't do this step because it requires personal responsibility. But those who do will begin to see patterns of progress and patterns of neglect. And once you see the pattern, you can change the pattern. That's the purpose of reflection. The second step, 5 minutes, is your AI reading coach. Take a book you're studying, success, history, business, philosophy, and ask the AI for a summary of 10 pages. But don't let the machine do the learning for you. Let it speed up the learning with you. Read the summary, highlight one idea, and ask yourself, how can I apply this today? Remember, reading doesn't change your life. Applying what you read does. AI can compress information, but it cannot compress transformation. That part still takes you. The third step, 5 minutes, is the AI planner. Now, the planner can build you a list of 10 things to do. It can design your perfect day, your optimal routine, your ideal schedule, but you must resist the temptation to do everything. Instead, ask the AI, what is the one non-negotiable action I must take today that aligns with my goals? Just one. Because success is not about doing everything, it's about doing the right thing consistently. One daily non-negotiable discipline practiced for a year can change the direction of your entire future. And the final step, just 2 minutes, is your AI accountability reminder. Set a notification not to motivate you, but to verify you. You don't need motivation every hour. You need a reminder of the promise you made to yourself this morning. And once that reminder goes off, you either keep your promise or you don't. That's discipline. That's character. That's the difference between wishing and achieving. So that's the Rohn routine, 15 minutes, 4 small steps, and a lifetime of reward if practiced daily. AI won't do the work for you, but it will remove the confusion. It will remove the overwhelm. It will remove the friction. And when friction disappears, consistency becomes easier, not automatic easier. And that's all you need to begin. A little bit easier. Practiced every day, because consistency, once started, grows roots. And roots produce fruit. But only if you water them daily. And that, my friends, is what this routine helps you do. Water the roots of your future before the rest of the world wakes up. Now, let's take this a little deeper. Because before we talk about doing more with AI, we need to talk about becoming more with AI. And the difference between the two is enormous. You see, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned is that you don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace. And the value you bring is not determined by the tools you use, but by the person you become. AI, in all its brilliance, can make you faster. It can make you more efficient. It can make you more productive, but only you can make yourself better. That's the great distinction. And if you don't understand this, you may end up using extraordinary technology to create very ordinary results. Let me put it plainly. AI can amplify your intelligence, but it cannot upgrade your identity. Only you can do that. If you see yourself as inconsistent, AI won't fix that. If you see yourself as undisciplined, AI won't fix that either. The technology will only magnify the identity you bring to it. If you approach AI as a student, it will give you more to learn. If you approach it as a leader, it will give you more to lead. If you approach it as a creator, it will open the door to endless creation. But if you approach it as someone looking for shortcuts, it will load your life with shortcuts until you realize you've arrived nowhere worth going. That's the identity trap of technology. The machine reflects the man. And if you do not shift who you are, you will simply use new tools to repeat old patterns. See, I've met people who use AI to plan their entire day, and yet they still spend the day procrastinating. Not because the plan was wrong, but because the person following the plan had not changed. I've seen people generate brilliant ideas using AI, business ideas, content ideas, creative ideas, and yet never move on any of them. Not because the ideas lacked potential, but because the person lacked belief. And I've watched people ask AI to simplify their tasks, organize their life, clear their schedule, and remove the friction only to find new ways to complicate things. Why? Because convenience doesn't cure inconsistency. Only character does. So here's the question I want you to think about. Who are you becoming while you're using AI? Not what are you producing, not what are you generating, not what are you completing, who are you becoming? Because the person you become will determine everything you create. And if you don't shift your identity, if you don't decide once and for all that you are a disciplined, consistent, committed individual, then all this technology will simply help you get to disappointment faster. But if you do make that shift, if you choose to see yourself as someone capable of excellence, someone worthy of growth, someone committed to daily improvement, then AI becomes the greatest accelerator you've ever had. Because now it's multiplying a powerful identity instead of a fractured one. And when a powerful identity combines with powerful tools, ladies and gentlemen, your results become extraordinary. Now let me warn you about a trap, one of the great traps of modern life, and especially this new world of AI. And if you're not careful, you will fall into it without ever realizing what happened. You've heard me give the example of the cola and the apple. It's one of my favorite illustrations because it reveals a truth that most people ignore. The wrong choice doesn't hurt you today, but it compounds over time. And the right choice doesn't reward you today, but it also compounds over time. That's how life works. Slow consequences, slow benefits. And AI operates by the same principle. If you're not thoughtful, AI becomes your new cola, sweet, easy, convenient, and ultimately destructive to your discipline. But used wisely, AI becomes your apple, simple, nourishing, and profoundly beneficial over the long term. Let me show you what I mean. AI becomes cola when you use it to escape effort instead of enhance effort. When you ask it to think so you don't have to think. When you let it answer every question so you never develop the ability to ask the right questions. When you let it generate your ideas, your plans, your goals, until you slowly lose connection with your own imagination. This is the cola trap. It tastes good. It feels efficient. It feels impressive. You get instant results, instant outputs, instant answers. But nothing in your character changes. Nothing in your discipline grows. And over time, if you are not careful, you will become dependent on the machine for all the work you were meant to do, yourself thinking, deciding, planning, reflecting. Remember this, AI can produce content for you, but it cannot produce character in you. And if you rely on it for the wrong things, your capacity to think deeply, choose wisely, and act consistently begins to weaken, just like a muscle that's never used. But AI can also be an apple if you use it to remove friction instead of remove responsibility. There's a big difference. Using AI as an apple means letting it speed up what you were already willing to do. Let it organize your tasks, but you still do the tasks. Let it summarize the book, but you still apply the lesson. Let it generate ideas, but you still choose the direction. Let it simplify your workflow, but you still show up for the work. That's the apple. The apple doesn't replace the work, it supports the work. And when AI becomes your apple, something beautiful happens. The discipline you already have becomes easier to maintain, and the discipline you're trying to build becomes easier to start. But here's the tragedy. Most people won't choose the apple. Why? Because the cola is more exciting. The cola is more comfortable. The cola promises shortcuts and easy victories. The apple asks you to stay the same person you've always needed, to be responsible, thoughtful, intentional. And that's why only a fraction of people will get extraordinary results from these extraordinary tools. Because only a fraction will use them to support their discipline instead of sabotage it. And if there is one message I want you to remember from this section, it's this. AI will not destroy your discipline unless you invite it to. The machine cannot make you lazy, but it can make laziness easier. The machine cannot make you inconsistent, but it can make inconsistency more comfortable. The machine cannot make you careless, but it can certainly make carelessness feel faster and more fun. So choose wisely. Choose the apple. Use AI to simplify, not to surrender. Use it to assist, not to replace. And every day, ask yourself a simple question. Is this tool helping me grow or helping me avoid growing? Because that one question will tell you whether you're drinking cola or biting into an apple. And 5 years from now, you will see the difference, not in the tool you used, but in the person you became. Now let's talk about something that separates the average life from the extraordinary one, the compound effect. And I want you to listen closely here, because if you miss this part, you'll misunderstand everything else we've talked about. The compound effect is the great multiplier of life. It is the quiet architect behind every transformation. It is the silent force building your future, whether you notice it or not. And AI, when placed in the hands of a disciplined person, makes this effect even more powerful. But when placed in the hands of an undisciplined person, it accelerates decline. That's why I say the future is being shaped faster now. Not because of the technology, but because technology magnifies the philosophy of the person using it. Let me paint a picture for you. Two people, same age, same job, same tools, same access to AI. Let's follow their next 5 years. Person A treats AI like entertainment. They ask it to do all their thinking. They use it for shortcuts, for speed, for convenience. They skip the reading because AI can summarize it. They skip the planning because AI can generate the plan. They generate ideas without ever executing them. And at the end of each day, they feel busy but accomplish nothing. 5 years later, their life hasn't changed. Their income hasn't changed. Their habits haven't changed. Their thinking hasn't changed. They used AI every day, but not once did they use it to upgrade themselves. Tools changed. The person didn't. Now let's look at person B. Person B uses AI for reflection each morning. They read with it. They plan with it. They use it to deepen their understanding, not avoid it. They ask better questions. They build better systems. They commit to one non-negotiable discipline each day. They track their effort, and they keep going even on the days when it doesn't look like anything is happening. But something is happening. Growth. Quiet growth, invisible growth, root growth. After 1 year, their thinking is sharper. After 2 years, their habits are stronger. After 3 years, opportunities appear that other people don't even see. After 5 years, they're living a life that looks unrecognizable, more income, more confidence, more clarity, more capability, not because the tool was better, but because they were better. The machine accelerated the person. So here's the great truth. AI will not create your future, your habits will. AI will not shape your destiny, your disciplines will. AI will not build your life, your philosophy will. The technology simply magnifies whatever you plant. Plant distraction, get distraction. Plant discipline, get transformation. And the reason this era is so important is because the compounding happens faster now. 5 years of consistent effort with AI is like 15 years of effort without it. But the reverse is also true. 5 years of neglect with AI is like 15 years of drifting. This is why I tell people, start today. Start with one small habit. Start with one tiny discipline. Start with one single action you repeat daily. Because if you start today and you let AI help you refine, support, and streamline the journey, 5 years from now you will thank yourself for a level of progress you never imagined. And if you don't start, if you wait for the perfect time, the perfect tool, the perfect motivation, you will also see the result of that choice. 5 years from now, you will be the same person you are today, only older and more frustrated. The future is not something you wait for. It is something you build, and you build it one small discipline at a time. Now let me give you one of the most valuable disciplines I ever learned in my entire life. And if you embrace this one habit, it may do more for your future than any software ever could. It is the discipline of tracking effort, not results. Most people track the wrong thing. They watch the scale. They watch the bank account. They watch the numbers, the followers, the views, the outcomes. But here's the problem. Results do not appear daily. Results happen in seasons. Roots grow long before fruits grow. And if you live your life staring at the fruit, you will quit long before the harvest arrives. That's why I say, don't track the fruit, track the seed. Don't measure the outcome, measure the effort. Because effort is the only thing you can control, and consistency is the only thing that compounds. Now, this is where AI becomes an extraordinary partner, not for results, but for accountability. Every night before you end your day, open your journal or your AI assistant and ask it 5 simple questions. Not complicated questions, not philosophical puzzles, 5 yes or no questions. Did I walk today? Yes or no? Did I read today? Yes or no? Did I save today? Yes or no? Did I practice my discipline today? Yes or no? Did I honor the plan I made this morning? Yes or no? And let the AI log it for you day after day, week after week, month after month. Over time, you'll start to see a pattern. And it won't be the AI telling you the truth. It will be your own life speaking back to you. Some days, the bank account won't change. Some days, the scale won't move. Some days, business will be slow. That's life. But the journal will show you something even more important. You kept going. And let me tell you something. Consistency is far more valuable than perfection. Perfection demands results. Consistency demands effort. And effort is something every one of us can give every day, regardless of circumstances. When you track results, you feel defeated. When you track effort, you feel empowered. That's the secret. And AI, in this process, becomes a mirror, reflecting your daily disciplines back to you with perfect honesty. I kept a journal for years, long before technology made it easy. I wrote down what I did, not what I accomplished. And during my darkest seasons, when nothing seemed to be working, when every external sign said give up, I would open that journal and see proof that I was building something, proof that I had planted the seed, watered the soil, tended the roots. And that journal became my evidence, evidence that my effort was not wasted. And your AI log, if you use it daily, will become your modern evidence. Evidence that you walked, evidence that you read, evidence that you saved, evidence that you showed up, evidence that you kept your promise to yourself even when no one else saw it. And here is the beautiful part. When the results finally come, and they will, you will know exactly why they came. Not because of luck, not because of timing, not because of the economy, but because of daily, consistent effort documented with clarity. And when life gets hard, when doubt whispers in your ear, when you feel like you're standing still, you'll open that journal or that AI log, and it will look you in the eye and say, no, you are moving, you are growing, you are becoming. And that reassurance, that proof can carry you through seasons that would have defeated the old you. And so, my friends, as we bring this lesson to a close, let me leave you with a thought that has guided me for decades. A thought as relevant in the age of artificial intelligence as it was in the age of pen and paper. Your life does not change because the world changes. Your life changes because you change. And if there's one thing I want you to remember from our time together, it's this. AI may be the greatest tool in human history, but tools do not shape your future. Your disciplines do. Tools do not create success. Your philosophy does. Tools do not build your character. Your choices do. You see, the machine can give you speed, but only you can give your life meaning. The machine can give you answers, but only you can give your life direction. The machine can give you convenience, but only you can give your life purpose. That responsibility has always been yours. And now, with more power at our fingertips than humanity has ever seen, that responsibility has never been more important. So here is the call, the invitation, the challenge. Become the person worthy of the tools you've been given. Don't just use AI to produce, use it to grow. Don't use it to avoid effort, use it to enhance effort. Don't ask it to replace your thinking, ask it to sharpen your thinking. Don't wish for shortcuts, wish for wisdom. Don't wish for technology to make your life easy, wish for the strength and clarity to make your life meaningful. Because in the end, it is not the tool that makes the master, but the master who makes the tool valuable. And my hope is that when you walk away from this lesson, you walk away with a new identity forming inside you, an identity that says, I will be consistent, I will be disciplined, I will grow daily. I will use these tools, but I will not surrender my responsibility to them. I will build a philosophy strong enough to guide my future. And if you can make that decision, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, 5 years from now, you will look in the mirror and meet a person you barely recognize. A wiser person, a stronger person, a more capable person, a person who used the best tools of their generation, not to escape effort, but to elevate it, not to avoid growth, but to accelerate it, not to become faster, but to become better. And if you become better, everything in your world becomes better with you. That is the true power of consistency. That is the true promise of technology aligned with character. And that is my wish for you, that you become the kind of person who uses extraordinary tools to build an extraordinary life. Because the tools are ready. The question now, as always, is, are you?